Good afternoon, Cherise. For the first time since 2000, New Hampshire lawmakers are sending a death penalty repeal bill to the governor. And as then Governor Jeanne Shaheen did 18 years ago, Republican Governor Chris Sununu promised to veto the measure. The New Hampshire House on Thursday passed Senate Bill 593 by a vote was 223 to 116. While the roll call was a strong show of support for repeal, it also showed that there are not enough votes to muster the two-thirds supreme majority necessary to override a Sununu veto. The Senate approved the bill by a 14-10 vote on March 15th, also short of the override threshold. The bill, if enhanced, would not apply to the lone convicted murderer on death row, Michael Addison, who was convicted of the 2006 capital murder of a Manchester police officer, Michael Briggs. He would be the first convicted murderer put to death in New Hampshire since 1939. Opponents of repeal warned that despite the bill's language repealing the death penalty only for future murders, Addison's attorney will move in court to have Addison's penalty reduced to life in prison. The death penalty repeal was close to becoming law in 2014 when it was passed by the House, and then Governor Maggie Hassan stood ready to sign it, but it never got to her desk because the state Senate defeated the repeal on a 12-12 tie vote. After the Thursday vote, Sununu retreated his veto promise. Under New Hampshire's criminal law, a person convicted of capital murder is eligible for death penalty. And capital murder in New Hampshire includes the murder of a law enforcement officer or judicial officer acting in the line of duty, the murderer of someone during a kidnapping, rape, home invasion, or burglary, murder for hire, a murderer committed by someone who has already been sentenced to life in prison without parole, a murderer committed during a drug-related crime. Rep. Randy Cushing, Democrat of Hampton, whose father was murdered in 1988, has long been the state's top legislative advocate of a death penalty repeal. He expressed confidence after the vote that additional support can be found to override a Sununu veto. Cushing said, "People involved on this issue, I think, will look at the voting tally and see who wasn't there in the House, for instance, and try to talk to people. There are also some senators who, I think, in their heart of hearts, know that it's time to abolish capital punishment." He called the death penalty a failed public policy. It doesn't do anything to protect safety. It doesn't work for police. It doesn't work for victims. When we use the death penalty, we become what we say. We we become killers. During the House floor debate, Rep. Jean Nutter, Republican of Merrimack, recalled in detail the murder of Kimberly Cates and the serious injuries suffered by her 11-year-old daughter, Jamie, in 2009. Nutter said that not every murderer should be put to death, only the worst of the worst. She recalled the Briggs murderer, asking what message are we sending to our police officers and what we think of our lives. Reporting live here outside the State House in Concord, New Hampshire, I'm Riley King for WMUR News 9. Cherise, back over to you.